Okay, well, we're going to get started in the interest of time. We'll kind of catch everybody up as they come in, but really appreciate everybody taking some time this morning and or this afternoon, depending on where you're at, and spending some time with us to talk about Maestro. You're probably here for the more important stuff like Instagram, which Shannon will get to, but we really appreciate you, first and foremost, being a part of our Maestro community. We are very passionate about Main Streets. It is so great to see so many of you in the video feed already that we know that we're working with. We're thrilled to have you guys as a part of our community, and we're really excited about where we're going. So I want to take a few minutes just to kind of talk about Maestro, this town hall, what it is that we do, all of this kind of stuff. So certainly for those of you who haven't joined us on one of our town halls, this is really an opportunity for us to kind of talk about what's coming with Maestro, answer any questions anybody might have about Maestro, the software. And we do try to reach out and branch out and bring in topics that maybe aren't Maestro related, like today's topic with Instagram. So it's just an opportunity for us to kind of bring our Maestro community together. We've got some new things and new ways we're going to be able to do that as well, which I'm really excited about. And so we'll share those with you here in the next few minutes. Just as a matter of housekeeping, if you haven't noticed already, I have everybody's phones already muted. That is just because we are going to be recording this. That way, when the dog barks or somebody walks in or the phones ring, we've kind of got a nice, we'll say clean recording, but more importantly, that way we're not distracting everybody else. So I think by now we've probably all been through enough of these that we all understand how this works. A year ago when we were doing this, that was sometimes a novel concept, but this seems to be second nature at this point for everybody. I do want to let you know that we do have the recording running. We are going to post this later, probably not this week, probably early next, just depending on how quick Travis gets with the editing and gets this turned around. But we are going to have this available as well as all of the slides and everything. So if somebody on your team misses this, you want to share it with somebody, we're going to make sure that you have access to that. Last but not least, we are going to be sending out a survey afterwards. We want to know what topics are important to you, so make sure you let us know that. We can usually find throughout our networks, we've usually got access to a whole lot of topics, and so let us know what interests you, and we'll do our best to get somebody to talk about that. Hopefully not me. You're probably all sick of hearing me by the time you get through the training videos. So again, use that chat box if you've got questions. There will be certain times where we'll open everybody's mics up for questions, but we'll go ahead and just kind of start diving in. Some things we want to talk about today specifically. I'm excited to share with you what's coming for Maestro, both our recent releases that we've launched that hopefully you're using, and if not, at least get you aware of those. We're going to talk about our product roadmap a little bit and what's coming for Maestro. And then certainly the reason probably a lot of you signed up, which is our Instagram for Downtown session, which I'll introduce Shannon here in a couple of minutes and let her run with things. And obviously we're going to save some time at the end for question and answer, probably about Instagram more than anything. But again, I'm here if you got Maestro questions as well. So a couple of things that I want to make sure everybody's aware of. Hopefully you're sick and tired of hearing me talk about this by now. And if not, that's a good thing. But we have rolled out a couple of features that I think are really important for how organizations are using Maestro. The first of those is actually our volunteer opportunities. So if anybody's familiar with like Sign Up Genius, this volunteer opportunities is a very similar functionality, but it's built into the Maestro system. It's something we rolled out last fall. Obviously with the pandemic, it may not have gotten the news that kind of snuck through your inbox, but we want to make sure you know about that, because as things are starting to open up and as you're starting to have, especially those bigger events where you need more volunteers, this can be a really great way to do that. It's all contained within your Maestro system already. So it's a really easy way to get people into your system, track those volunteer hours, and not have to constantly send out an updated thing or go to yet another system to get all that. And then certainly the Maestro app is kind of our big push last year to get that out. We keep hearing from folks about how much they're using it, especially when you're talking about updating your property and business directory. It just makes it so easy to walk around your downtown, at least here in the Midwest, now that things are finally starting to get nice. We can kind of walk around our downtowns and we can use that app to update all of those records. Just makes it really easy to do that on the go. So we want to make sure that you're aware of that, hopefully that you downloaded it and you're using it. And so we wanted to make sure we kind of highlighted those, but that leads us to where we're going. And I'm really excited because this may not seem like a huge deal, but we are really revamping our reporting and advanced search interface. We're kind of merging those, smashing those together, if you will. And so for some of you that have asked about certain types of reporting, like I'd like to be able to report on, say, how many female-owned businesses I have, or can I get a list of people in my just businesses in my historic register, or certain things like that. We're going to have the ability to basically layer those advanced searches on top of our reporting, and it's going to give us a lot of flexibility, both with what we can export, what we can generate. So I'm really excited about that. We are still on schedule. The developers who sit behind this green wall over here have promised me that we're going to be launching in May. So I'm really excited about that. You'll start to see more coming out here in the next few weeks as we get closer to that launch date. But that's really exciting. And then obviously we've got some other things down the road, some directory type integrations that if anybody's interested in, you can certainly let us know, and I'll kind of loop you in to that. But we've got some exciting things that I think we might be planning for this fall as well. Not quite ready to let that cat out of the bag, but I think we're going to be having a lot of fun this summer. If you have been with Maestro for 3 months, one thing I always like to bring up is our Maestro Masters program, which is a tongue twister sometimes for me to say, but this is a program for people that are really using the software, engaging with it, engaging with us. And it's just a way for us to kind of have this network that we've created and engage you all more. But this year especially, we're really focused on that. We're going to be offering some special trainings to our Maestro Masters. We're definitely going to be hoping for some special events. This year, those may still be virtual, but certainly at things like the National Main Street Conference, the Main Street Now Conference. Next year, when we all get to do that in person, we're going to be having some special events for those masters as well. We are going to try to use you all as beta testers. So when we get to things like the new reporting and we want to know what's working, what's not, what we still need to tweak, those Maestro Masters are going to be the ones that we turn to kind of help us work through that system. And certainly we want to recognize you all as well, both on our website, through social media. So this is a great thing that we're excited about, that we hope that if you've been with us for at least 3 months, you're really using the system, we hope that you will go to our website, sign up, and become a part of that community. The community survey, which I see my line switched here. So our first line kind of got a little overlap there, but this is something that we do every year. Hopefully you have seen some emails from me about this in the last week or so. You're going to still see emails from me in the next couple of weeks because we've got until April 15th. But this is something that we put out every year that we really appreciate you taking 5-10 minutes and filling this out for us. It lets us know how you're using Maestro. It lets us know more about you as communities. We've got so many of you now that while I know a few faces and a few names, we want to know more about your organizations, how you're structured, not just how you're using Maestro, but different things about your community so that we can help then build features and things into the system that are going to benefit you. And the best part is you take 5 minutes, you fill out our survey, and somebody's going to win $100. So you might as well take that 5 minutes, do it over lunch, fill it out, and you'll be in good shape. I mentioned that we've got some new ways to connect, and that's one that I'm really excited. You guys are actually the first ones to hear about this besides our Maestro Masters. This will be in next week's email, but for those of you who came to the town hall, you get to hear about it first. We have launched a Maestro users Facebook group. So you can actually go to Facebook, look for Maestro Community Manager. Maestro CM is actually the group URL. If you email me afterwards, I can send you the link directly. But this is a great way. We've started with our masters already, just kind of getting the ball rolling. But it's a great way to get tips. Again, stay connected. But when you have questions, hey, how's everybody tracking XYZ? Or does anybody know how to do this? And it doesn't have to be Maestro questions. Again, if you've got downtown questions, this can be another great location because we've got a whole lot of experience in our Maestro community, and we encourage you to use that. So I would like to personally invite you then to get signed up for that. And we hope that you'll connect with us in this new way we're excited about. So with that, I'm going to stop talking and see, before we get into Shannon, as I skip past here, does anybody have any questions about Maestro or anything else? Throw them in the chat window. Raise your hand and I can unmute you. And then if not, we'll run off to the fun part. Not seeing any hands raised, and I'm not seeing any questions. We'll give everybody just another couple of seconds, and then we're going to dive in. Will I be presenting during the conference? Great question. We will have our booth, and I'm going to talk about that at the end. We will have our virtual booth. They actually did not really do the big call for proposals this year because of everything being virtual. It's a very different schedule. Because everything is virtual, they're not having as many breakout sessions and things like that. So I'm not presenting on any topics this year, other than being in the Maestro booth and being available to talk about Maestro and to share that with folks. We've got some topics in the hopper that we think are going to get accepted for next year. But so far, as of now, we are not. I have let Kelly know that if people back out at the last minute, we can talk about a whole lot of subjects. So you never know what happens, right? Don't see any other questions. So we're going to go ahead and dive in to maybe our Instagram best practices. So Shannon O'Neill is an incredibly talented member of our team. For those of you who don't know, Rakusik is our parent company, so to speak. Our marketing firm is actually the ones that built Maestro. But Shannon is originally from Annapolis, Maryland. She graduated from New York University with a dual degree, believe it or not, in dance and economics. After school, she pursued her dance career, which gave her the opportunity to both perform and travel the world and see all sorts of places that I'm uber jealous about. She then transitioned to a digital marketing position, which has now led her to being the digital marketing manager here at Rakusik. She assists our clients in all things from digital marketing, including but not limited to, if I could talk, social posting, email marketing, paid advertising, SEO, blogs, you name it. She is the guru for it when it comes to our performance marketing, and probably the reason most of you signed up for this webinar today. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to the phenomenally talented Shannon and let her talk for a little while.
Hi, everybody. I am thrilled to be here with you. Like Travis said, my name is Shannon. I am the digital marketing manager with Rakusik. And I have found a lot with clients that we bring on in performance marketing that people are very versed in LinkedIn and Facebook, but not so much in Instagram. So that's why today I wanted to break out some best practices and tips and tricks that I found really work well with our clients. So we can go ahead to the next screen. And the first thing that I wanted to touch on is that Instagram is slightly different than your other social media platforms, which I'm sure most of you are on Instagram and realize, however, it's a good call out to know that it's a show not tell platform. So with your other social media, you're going to be your Facebook, your LinkedIn, your Twitter. You're going through your news feed. The first thing that you're going to see is the caption. Instagram is different because the first thing you're actually going to see is an image. So you want to make sure when you're going to promote your business that you have a group of images that are really relevant and on brand before you even start to promote that business on Instagram. Another call out, which may seem super simple, but I've had to do this for many clients, is that Instagram, like Facebook, allows you to have a personal and a business account. You want to make sure that you're promoting your business on a business profile. There's many reasons why you want to do it, but one of the biggest ones is you just have more tools and analytics at your disposal, both in terms of tracking engagement rate. You can track your follower growth. You can see how many people have shared things. It's way more expansive than just a personal account. So you want to make sure you do that as well. Okay, now we have the image. People are coming to your profile. What's the first thing they're going to see? Oh, actually, leave it back. Sorry. There we go. Perfect. So what's the first thing they're going to see? And I'm going to use this example on the right this entire time. So we come to the profile, we see our bio. Obviously, there's not a whole lot you can do with this. So you want to make sure that you condense down what makes you special, what product, what service, and really what your profile is all about right there in that 2 to 3 sentences. The other thing you'll notice is that you have the ability to only have one link. So just a little tip is that if you actually use linktree.com, it's a free website where you can link as many links as you'd like. But that way you have that one link that's actually right in your profile when people come to visit you. And then they can actually link out to other links for your website. Obviously, you could just have your website linked, but if you're trying to promote specific events or things like this, Linktree is a great tool. So then we're going to go underneath that follow button there. You're going to see Instagram highlights. So Instagram actually used to save your stories automatically, but just so you're all aware, they no longer provide that feature. You actually have to turn it on in the settings. Then you get to create these awesome highlights that people come when they come to your profile can actually view, and you can highlight, customer testimonials, certain products. Again, if you're having an event or something like that, you can actually create a highlight and have them walk through that journey with you right there on the profile when they come to visit. Another reason why you want to have a business profile is that if you actually sell something physical, Instagram has this new-ish feature now where you can actually set up a shop right there in the app, which is an easy, seamless way that you can actually tag products when you're posting them, and you can see actually there in that second photo, it has that little shopping bag. That means that there's a product tag there. You click on that product tag, it takes you to a fully customizable shop where someone can actually view your products and then either check out on Instagram itself without ever having to leave the app, or you can link it to the website. This is a great free way to drive some more user traffic to your website, or if you want them to have that seamless process, which in my opinion is where checkout and e-commerce is actually moving into. So if you want to get a head start on it, I highly recommend setting up the shop. It's super simple. You get to choose your font, your color, you get to have your own images in there, and it's a really fun and enjoyable way for your followers and your customers to be able to view your inventory. So now I'm going to break out some of the best practices for posting. So we're going to start with content. What a lot of people don't realize, it doesn't need to be all product driven. And actually most users don't want to be constantly hit in the face with something that you're selling at all times. So a great way to change that up is to showcase your employees, causes you support. You can make announcements. Again, you can highlight customer testimonials. These are a great option to keep followers engaged and wanting to come back for more. And I'm actually going to break these out in the next slides into examples that I've pulled, and we'll get into more details about that as well. The next thing is imagery. Another thing people don't realize, they're like, I have to have all professional photos. It's just not true. It's on all social media platforms in general. you can use your iPhone. It makes it feel more personal. I mean, you think about your own newsfeed, what you like to comment and post on. When it's more personal, you're more engaged. So you have a great thing right at your disposal, which is your cell phone, and you can have as much content as you want, just taking that around the store, around your local neighborhood, whatever it may be. One thing I do want to call out is that you make sure you're using Instagram's preferred aspect ratios, which is that 1:1 or 4:5. A lot of people don't realize that if you're going to use a scheduling tool, or you're going to actually post from your laptop or anything other than your phone, because your phone will automatically crop it itself if you're going to post from your phone. But if you're posting from anything else, you want to make sure you crop that down to what Instagram recommends. It just makes your feed look very seamless, and you don't get any black spotches or anything, and it just keeps your whole brand and look looking really nice. The next call out is community. So social media is such an excellent and free way to connect with your current customer base, but also extend it to new customers as well. So you want to make sure that you're liking and you're commenting on all your posts, and that you're checking that messenger feature as well. It just adds a personal touch, and it feels like the customer feels like you really care and you're paying attention. I wanted to say one more thing about that. We'll come back to it. Okay. Next thing is frequency. So I recommend minimum once a week you're posting. People nowadays are using social media to keep up with their businesses, especially in this COVID era that we're living in. Store hours are changing, guidelines are changing. Posting, what I have found really helpful, is 2 to 3 times a week, keeps that engagement rate really high. And it also just shows that you care, you want to keep your customers up to date with what's going on in real time. And the last thing is reach. So just like any other social media platform, hashtags, tagging, geotagging, all of this is going to extend your reach beyond your current followers. And just one tip to call out is that Instagram has that search bar feature just right within the app. If you just type in hashtag and anything that's relevant to your industry, to your product, you can discover way more, and you also get to see how often people are posting and hashtagging that. If you click into the hashtag itself, you get to see the top images, and then you can make sure that it's really like on theme with what you're wanting, and it really represents your business in the way that you're trying to represent it on social media. So now we're going to break out that content. So I pulled all of these from local businesses that I thought were showing a great variety and getting really nice engagement. So the first call out is going to be holidays. Super easy. So whether it's federal or funny, I pull national holidays all the time, like it's National Pancake Day or whatever it may be that's relevant to your business or your district. It's a great way to show specific themed products and connect with your audience. So if you have Christmas products, if you have a certain thing, it's just a free tool to show that inventory. Showcasing your business, whether it's the inside, the outside of your business, you can announce remodeling, additions, and then really showcasing the neighborhood in which your business resides is a great tool to keep people really engaged. The next one is announcements. You have a sale, your hours have changed, or you're moving, or you're reopening, or whatever it is. Again, a really easy and free tool to promote that sale, to promote your reopening, and again, keeping people up to date in real time. The causes you support. If you can participate in any community outreach, showcasing these causes not only will support that cause itself, obviously, but it just really shows that you're a staple in your community, especially in a local business, really means something to your users and your followers, and will keep them coming back and wondering what else you're doing, what else you're providing for your community in which your business resides. And then we have employee recognition. Recognize your employees. That's a great free tool as well to expand your reach, because if you tag your employees in that photo, they then have the ability to share that to both their newsfeed, to their stories. And every time they share it, it'll have your name or your Instagram handle on it. So it's just a free way to increase your brand awareness and hopefully get some follower growth out of it as well. The next one is back to doing that shop. So if you sell something physical, then you can then tag those products as you're posting. Again, a great and free way to drive people to your website or allow them to use that seamless checkout process that Instagram has. Showcasing your customers, another great way to expand your reach. It's also a fun thing that you can do with them where you can say, have a chance to be featured on our page by tagging us. And then you can use their content as well. Another free tool to just increase content, increase awareness, and increase your reach and hopefully your follower growth and hopefully sales. Another great thing is a behind the scenes look. So when we were talking about just taking things on your iPhone around, because Instagram is full of enthusiasts, if they're going to follow a product page or a business page, they really want to know what it takes to create your product. If your audience knows that work from start to finish, they get to follow your journey, but they also get to respect what you do, either your product or your service, and more than likely will become a repeat customer because they feel like they're a part of your journey. And the last two things. So this one is just a fun one that I threw in there that I do a lot with my clients. It's a great and easy way to increase follower growth if you're just starting out, because obviously you want to get that follower growth almost right away to increase that engagement and brand awareness. So all you have to do is set some guidelines for people, follow your page, like or share this to your story for extra entries. And then a great one is actually tagging other people in it, because once they're tagged and they come to your profile, again, that's more brand awareness, more expansive reach, and just an easy and fun thing to do if you have something to give away or raffle off. And the last thing is user generated content. So again, asking your users to tag you, and then you get to share that onto your story as well. A lot of times, if I find that someone's tagging a product or a service that one of my clients is doing, I just message them and say, hey, can I share this to my story? Can you send me the image? And then I'm just getting free content to use. And so it's a really easy and fun way to connect with people. So in summary, Instagram is just a wonderful tool to engage with your customer base. But what I found is really to reach new customers is what I've gotten out of my clients' organic posting. Even though it's image first, you really do want to know your voice before. People are going to have that scroll stopping image, but then they're going to read that caption. What is it about? What are you trying to tell me? And Instagram, like Twitter, is a really fun way that you can be a little bit more cheeky, and you can have some fun with the captions and really, ask questions, engage with people. It increases that engagement, and you can have that personal one-on-one back and forth with your customers. Like I said before, many of these customers are using your social media platforms to keep up to date with your business. So you really want to make sure that you're keeping that frequency up, that you're posting once a week. It just shows that you're engaged and that you want them to know what's happening in your business. And this is just a tip. I create all of my scheduling an entire month in advance and then use a scheduling tool to keep myself on track. A free scheduling tool that I really like is called hootsuite.com. It's totally free as long as you just have your one business that you're promoting. It's a small fee to upgrade it if you have more than one. But it's, just like a fitness schedule, as soon as you get yourself going and you take all this content and then you can keep yourself on track, I know that you will have success doing this because I've seen it over and over again. So that is a lot of information that I just spat out at you. I've had a lot of coffee today. Sorry if that was fast. Does anybody have any questions?
I know while we're waiting for hands or for them to put them in the chat window, I know one of the questions that I've got, and first, thank you. This is great. I know, obviously, we are all downtown businesses, but I think we can all see things like highlighting our businesses, highlighting our customers, or our events or things like that. So I definitely see a lot of the connections. One question that I have, going back to your social media calendar, because I've had the privilege of seeing it, But just for everybody else, can you talk about what kinds of things go into that? Because I know it's not just I'm going to post on Tuesday, but the way you put that together is, I think, really beneficial and really helpful for everybody.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So what I start with is I have a spreadsheet of that entire month with all the dates. And then I take all of my images that I want to use for that month. And then the first thing that I actually do is there's something called nationaltoday.com where you can find out those like funny national holidays that I was just talking about. And I look for my client that I'm posting for. Is there something relevant on that day for that client? And then I look at my images to see. So I map that out first. And then I, talk to the client or talk to the business. Is there something that you're trying to push this month? Because then we can have a cohesive month where we're pushing that certain product or service out. And then I lay it all out. I typically do 3 posts a week. And so I try to change it up. After you get going for a while, you'll actually see where your highest engagement is in terms of days of the week and time. So once I post for 3 or 4 months, I actually go back and look to see what the highest engagement and then lay it out based on that. I also lay out all of my hashtags as well ahead of time. So then I go to my scheduling tool and it's just plug it in, image caption, image caption, image caption, and I lay out that whole, I do 1 month. You could do as many months as you want. But it just keeps it from being so overwhelming because organic posting is time consuming and I understand that. So laying that out and using that scheduling tool is just a great way to keep yourself on track and to keep that time consumption down.
Awesome. So I don't see anything in the chat window. So if anybody's got some, they're free to throw it in that. I did also give everybody the ability to unmute themselves. I see we've got a hand raised, which is awesome. So I know I've got another question that I'm going to write down while I give Luke the ability here to unmute and ask his question.
Cool, thank you. So I've got a question because I'm not exactly sure how your social media management works at Rokusec, but like my experiences are in the field, we set up this 3-month social media plan for a season, and we'll have posts maybe done 2 weeks to a month in advance.
Mhm.
And then somebody from the office always goes, oh, wait, there's this thing happening on this day. You need to fit this in on our social media schedule. And so I'm wondering, since that has brought up a lot of conflicts in past places I've worked, how you deal with that, or if that is even an issue that you need to deal with. I'm not sure if that is specifically like a Main Street or community organizing issue of having different people that don't know much about social media, or if it's a like who gets to post issue. But yeah, I'm wondering if you have any input for making that work as smoothly as possible.
Yeah, for sure. We do client meetings every 2 weeks. So I really try to ask them every single time I meet with them, is there something coming up? Is there, a product that you want pushed? What is the focus? What's happening? And then once I actually create that spreadsheet for them of the entire month, I send that to the client as well for their approval. That way they get to look at it all and make sure it's on brand. But obviously things come up in the moment all the time. I actually find that having that Hootsuite scheduling where everything is already laid out for me for that month, I can easily just click in there, change an image out, change a messaging out. But yes, I hope that answered your question. But yes, I get emails all the time where it's like, wait, I need to push this thing. So yeah, it definitely comes up, but trying to just reiterate with them and, trying to set in stone that whole month and be like, okay, well, then next month we can do it,
I would also just tag on to that. In the Main Street promotion course that we teach, we talk about those scheduling tools and things like that. Other things that you need to be aware of with that are like breaking news, big events, things like that. Especially, unfortunately, when there's the negative breaking news, big stories. I think back to one during the Boston Marathon bombing. and somebody had stuff scheduled, and all of a sudden there's all these posts and all these feeds about, everything that's going on, and there's your ad for, hey, buy my Reeboks or whatever it was. And so when there are things like that, you just need to take a minute and go, do I have anything that's going to look bad if it came out right in the middle of this?
Yeah.
99.9% of the time, you're fine. There's nothing to worry about. Everybody understands that your National Pancake Day was probably pre-scheduled. But again, you also don't want that to get drowned out. So when there are those breaking news stories, just taking a minute if you've got it. Obviously, I'm a Main Street director at heart. I understand where the time constraints are, and that's not always your first thought, but just kind of thinking or even logging in real quick to go, okay, do I have anything that's going to be better off if I wait a day or a week or whatever? I also see that Rachel posted a question here. Do you typically share the same posts, plural, across different social media platforms, or do you find you get better response when posting one thing on Facebook and something else entirely different on Instagram versus sharing the same graphic or image or informational post on both platforms?
Yeah, that's a great question. So yes, I have found a difference. Facebook, gets a lot more engagement when people are in your photos. I've found that to be across the board for 10 plus clients, that when I'm posting on Instagram versus Facebook, I'm being specific to those two, that when people are in the photos, you get more engagement and more interaction on Facebook. And then on Instagram, it is more of an enthusiast. So yes, you want to have all that variety that I was talking about, but you can be more product driven on Instagram than I have found in terms of engagement on Facebook. Also with the captions, like I said, you could be like a little bit more wittier, a little bit more engaging with your captions on Instagram versus Facebook. I found being more informative actually is gets a higher engagement rate for that one. If we're going LinkedIn posting, I would keep it very professional, very informative. We found that obviously that's a platform full of professionals, so they really want to know what your product is and the information behind that product.
Awesome. That actually ties into my question that I had, which is what types of images. So obviously, coming from the Main Street world, we've got a lot of big crowd shots that show a bunch of people. We've got a lot of building pictures because we're Main Street folks. Obviously, we want a variety, but when it comes to posting pictures of people or things, in your experience, what are the types of posts that get the best engagement or the best, number of likes or people clicking the little heart button or whatever?
Yeah. It honestly, this is not the greatest answer, but it is industry specific. Every single person is different. So you actually really want to have, this is back to what I was talking about when I would look at like time of day, hashtags being used. Another great thing to look is kind of having a testing period, because obviously we could make generalizations in terms if you're selling a physical product, if you're offering a service, yes, there's probably things that work better. Like if you're selling a product, you want to make sure that product is forward in the photo. It is centralized in the photo. You don't want to be focusing on someone else. But it really is industry specific. I would give yourself 2 to 3 months of quote unquote testing it all, doing that whole variety, trying a bunch of different things, trying graphics, and then look at what that engagement rate is as your follower growth increases. I love good spreadsheet. So after you do that 2 to 3 months of testing, I would look, okay, on Monday at 10 a.m., I posted this image. I got 10 comments and 20 likes, and then go to the next one and just kind of do your top 10 of what was getting the most interaction, because it really is going to be specific to you.
Awesome. I don't see any more, so I'll ask one final one here. And I think this really ties in because the testing is going to be really important. If and when people start doing advertising, you're going to want to know what works and what doesn't.
Yeah.
And not to put you on the spot too much. So we get asked a lot with Maestro, should I be advertising like my event on Facebook or Instagram? Obviously coming from the Main Street world, most of us don't have, thousands upon thousands of dollars to throw into advertising. So that becomes, do we do advertising or do we do a boosted post? And I know what you're probably going to tell me is it depends on the situation, but I'll ask the question anyway.
So I'm glad that we're touching on this because I actually meant to do this on the first slide. Another reason why you want to be a business profile is so that you have the ability to boost, post, and advertise. So actually boosting a post and advertising are the same thing. So they're going to create what Facebook and Instagram call dark ads. So it's going to show up in people's news feeds. And I say yes. If you have an event, you have a sale, but you can even throw $10 at it. I've seen one of our local businesses, every time that they have a new product or something, they literally throw $10 at it. It just increases your engagement and your reach beyond your followers. And that's extremely important, especially if you're trying to get attendees or ticket sales or whatever it may be. You do want to reach people beyond your followers because you more than likely, won't have as much of a reach or a target audience. The other reason why is if you boost it, you actually can narrow it in. So you can create interest groups for people that you think would be interested in your product or service. You can also bring in that location too. So that way your ad spend money is actually being directed to the correct people. So yes, I say definitely boost the post.
Awesome. And I see one more question here from Luke again.
Hi, so I guess to stay on finances, when coming up with a social media strategy, I was once urged by a board of directors to be following all potential and current donors because, as Main Street, our funding is coming from a lot of different sources. And I'm just wondering if you've seen any proof that eventually does lead to funds coming in, just because really the only voice I've ever heard on that is one board of directors member saying that it'll work and that it's important, but I have not explored it further. So I'm wondering if any of your clients have shown that that's a thing of kind of longevity and engagement on social media eventually leading to a funding source.
Yes, I wouldn't say following them though is the right way to handle that. How I would do it would be to like and comment on anything that they're posting, and then also what you're posting, tag them in it. That way that's automatically in their tagged photos and images. And that just increases the awareness in the brand, but also they get a notification every single time. So then they'll come and they'll see, okay, what are they doing? Why am I tagging this? What's the comment like? But yeah, I mean, following is fine. Instagram, it does, for whatever reason, people really care how many followers you have versus how many you're following. So you really want to keep your followers down. Obviously, if they're donors, then that's an important follow to have. But more than that, I would say going to their actual profile and commenting and liking on things, that engagement will keep you top of mind. And being top of mind, you'll be the first person that they'll want to then donate to, and they'll just stay up to date with what's going on.
Awesome. Any other questions about Instagram, about Maestro? Anything that we've talked about? Feel free to ask away. If not, we'll give everybody another 10 seconds and then I'm going to the next slide. But again, one thing that's coming up here in 2 weeks that I want to make sure everybody is aware of, hopefully everybody is attending the Main Street Conference. This year it is virtual, which is going to be a new experience for all of us. I'm excited to see how this thing goes. But I would encourage you beforehand, tell your colleagues to stop by our virtual booth. If you've got somebody that maybe doesn't know that Maestro exists or is maybe on the fence, send them our way. Let us get a shot at talking to them during that time frame. We're going to be there. We're going to be attending sessions. We're going to be in our booth when we're supposed to be, and having the demos rolling and all that. And because it's virtual this year, we actually get to, everybody's got their own profile. You can actually add tags to your profile. So I would encourage you all to add that Maestro tag. It's going to be a great way for us to kind of group all of our Maestro users together. We're going to be able to find new people that way. And it's a great way to let other people know that you at least think we're worth putting the tag on your profile. So we really appreciate everybody's time. If anybody has questions, and maybe you're just a little camera shy, I will turn the camera off here momentarily, or the recording off, and we'll certainly stick around and answer any questions. But I want to thank Shannon for her expertise and her time. And I really want to thank you all again for taking the time this morning, being with us, and again, for being a part of our community. We are thrilled to have you guys as Maestro members, and we are here to help in any way we can.